Recording in progress.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are tuning in. Thank you for joining me. Trying a new setup here where I'm making a recording for Instagram and YouTube and Facebook on different formats. That's why I was hesitating getting in here. But thanks for your patience and really delighted to be here with you all today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chris Luard, Christopher Luard, if you wish. I answer to either equally. I am a long-time meditation practitioner. I've been practicing various forms of mindfulness and meditation for 40 years now. Deeply trained in the Mahayana school of Buddhism, Tibetan, and also Zen. Also very deeply trained in Theravada school of Buddhism, the earliest schools of Buddhism. That comes from here in Thailand and Sri Lanka and so forth. So yeah, I spent the majority of my life really deeply training in those traditions. I'm also a certified clinical trauma professional. And so I try to offer teachings and courses where I hold both of those two sort of simultaneously. So a lot of pretty much everything that I offer is offered within a trauma-sensitive framework and drawing uh, in a secular way from the Buddhist traditions. So I try to make the teachings from Buddhism accessible to people from all faiths, all walks of life, any background. So in the courses, no religion is being offered or anything like that. So I mentioned a course, and if you're new to my Facebook Live offerings, you may not know that I do about a month or 5 weeks or so of a weekly sessions, or sometimes twice a week, leading up to an online program that I'm offering, and this is the same in that way. And I'm offering an online program on kindness. And so it's a 12-week program. We launch on April 12th, and it runs until the first week of July. And there's two sections. It caters to all different time zones. And if you want to find out more about the course, please go to my website, www.suchsweetthunder.org. I won't talk too much more about the course here, although I'll be drawing from the course material in today's offering. So this is the third of the Facebook Live series, and if you haven't seen the first two, that's also fine. You'll get great benefit just from being here today. But I'll be referring back to some of the information that I covered already in those sessions as well. So in those sessions, we explored offering kindness to aspects of ourself that we like. You know, the funny me, the kind me, the friendly me, the caring me, the aspects of ourselves that we find agreeable. And then last time I offered a session here, I offered a meditation where we offer kindness to aspects of ourselves that we don't tend to notice, the neutral parts of ourselves. You know, the cook in me, or the shopper in me, or the one who commutes, that gets me from point A to point B. And for today's talk and meditation, I would like to offer a talk and meditation on offering kindness to aspects of ourselves that we find challenging, that we might find disagreeable in some way. And so for me, oh, and by the way, when we first get introduced to a practice like this, we don't want to use, this aspect of ourself that is really heavy. If I have a really painful part of myself, that wouldn't be the first challenging aspect to work with. So something, where we know, okay, I would like to work on this part of myself. Work, I use very loosely. But it's not so heavy that I feel like, it won't send me into a depression just to look at that aspect of myself. Right? So nothing overwhelming. So for example, I might use, let's say I got some anger coming up around something I saw in the news. That's perfect, right? I can feel the intensity of the anger, but it's definitely not something I want to change about myself. In fact, there's arguably some positive to that feeling as well, right? But yeah, I do find it challenging, so worth working with. All right, and so we bring this challenging aspect of ourselves into the practice. Then we offer the phrases of kindness to this part of ourself. The phrases are, may I feel safe, may I be happy, may I be healthy, and may I know kindness and ease. And there I'm using the pronoun I, right? But if you are personifying this challenging aspect of yourself, then you would say you. May you feel safe. May you feel safe. And right away, as I'm talking, I can feel that challenging part of myself there, the angry me, right? And then may you feel safe. It's almost like the angry me is like, oh. Because one of the reasons why the human nervous system gets angry is to help us feel safe, right? The evolutionary reason for anger is protective, right? So, one way of working with anger, if I get, again, I'll use that example because it happens sometimes pretty frequently these days. I might open the news and I read something and I feel some anger coming up, right? And then I say to that, may you feel safe. Okay. Another way of meeting that arising anger is, how much of this anger do I really need right now to feel safe? Well, maybe I need 10% or 15% of that anger. Right? But the rest of it, 85 or 90%, it's overreaction. I don't really need that right now. Right? Okay, I can use 10%. So let's say if I saw something on the news that was upsetting, maybe I would use 10% of that fear to reach out to loved ones to make sure they're safe. Right? Or I would use 10% of that fear to, something sensible that would help me feel safer. Right? So then we're actually acknowledging the anger and honoring the purpose of the anger so that it can come to its completion, right? So we don't hold on to it in the nervous system. That's the idea. So, it doesn't have to be an angry you. If you don't feel that that's challenging for you, you could use the messy you. I've worked with that myself some before as well, or the argumentative you, or the procrastinator in you. Whatever it is, some aspect of you that you find challenging, that you feel under the weight of. Yeah. And then we'll, in the meditation, we'll sit with that. We'll explore what it feels like to offer kindness to this challenging aspect. And then after the practice, I'll ring the bell, of course, to end the practice, and then I'll offer just a few more words, and then we'll draw our time together to a close. So if you're not already, just inviting us to get into a comfortable meditation posture, whatever that might mean for you. And so meditation can really be done in any posture. There are some traditions that really emphasize sitting on the floor cross-legged. If you find that's helpful for your practice, you're more than welcome to do that. But in my experience, it's more helpful simply to be as comfortable as possible. Some posture that allows us to be relaxed and awake and alert at the same time. And so in a few moments then I'll ring the bell and I'll guide us in. And so the invitation here is just to arrive into this present moment. And there are many ways of arriving and connecting to the present moment. And for this practice, let's start with the experience of sound. So we're invited here to simply become listeners of the present moment. You might notice quiet sounds, loud sounds. Maybe there's the gentle hum of some appliance in the background or a bird song. The sound of my voice or some other conversation unfolding nearby. There might be sounds that feel pleasant, and some sounds might feel unpleasant. And still other sounds might feel quite neutral. Regardless of how we interpret the sounds, perhaps recognizing how sounds are always present moment. So if we notice our thoughts chewing on the past or the future, we can always reconnect to the present moment through listening, just listening. And while we're here, resting, listening to the present moment, if you notice the mind wandering, just know that's very normal. And simply labeling that thinking, letting the distraction go and returning back to listening, just listening. So not making the thoughts into a problem or something to get rid of, but just something to notice. And while we're here resting, listening to the present moment, the invitation then is to gently and kindly bring awareness to the body. Noticing perhaps the contact of clothing resting against the skin, a softness, a smoothness, a coarseness or roughness. Inviting the muscles underneath those sensations to relax and soften, rest. Not trying to force anything, but just gently inviting. We might also notice the contact of the body against the cushion or a chair. And if you'd like, if it feels helpful, maybe inviting the body to relax just a little bit further into the support. In a sense, inviting any habitual internal bracing that might be happening to relax and let go. Resting. And so while we're here resting and noticing the present moment, the invitation here is to gently and kindly bring into awareness some aspect of yourself that you find challenging. This might be the you that gets angry from time to time, or the jealous you, or the bored you, or the confused you. The argumentative you. Some aspect of yourself that when you're in that role, it feels quite challenging, painful maybe, contracted. So maybe recalling an actual experience when you were embodying this role. What did that feel like? Did it feel like in the body when you were engaged in this way? Maybe some tension in the belly or contracting around the heart area, some tension in the jaw or behind the eyes. Notice how when you explore the physical experience, it helps us get out of the stories which might be there. And we can begin to offer kindness to this challenging aspect of ourselves. May you feel safe. Feeling safe in the midst of life's difficulties. Feeling safe. May you be happy. May you find happiness in the midst of life's unfolding. May you be happy. May you be healthy. Finding good health in the midst of life's challenges. May you know kindness and ease. Wishing this challenging aspect of ourselves, knowing kindness, and knowing ease. May you feel safe. Feeling safe in the midst of life's difficulties. May you feel safe. Wishing this challenging aspect of ourself, feeling safe, feeling safe. May you be happy. Wishing this challenging aspect of ourself, finding happiness. Happiness in the midst of life's difficulties. May you find good health. wishing this challenging part of ourself knowing good health in the midst of life's difficulties. Good health. Knowing kindness and ease, wishing this challenging part of ourselves, knowing kindness, and finding ease in the midst of life's challenges, discomfort, finding ease, finding ease. So taking a few moments here to simply notice, what does it feel like to offer this challenging part of ourselves? Kindness. You might notice some resistances there. That's very normal. Resistance can arise as a kind of doubting in the mind or tension in the body. And so if you're noticing resistance coming up, we could turn toward the resistance and saying, thank you. Thank you for showing up to help me feel safe. I don't really need you for my safety right now, but it's wonderful that you're here. And turning back toward this challenging aspect of ourselves, we'll offer those phrases of kindness one more time. If you find it helpful, perhaps placing a hand over the heart, or both hands over the heart, as we offer kindness. May you feel safe, offering the feeling of safety to this challenging aspect of ourselves. May you feel safe. May you be happy, finding happiness in the midst of life's difficulty. May you be happy. May you be healthy, finding good health in the midst of life's unfolding. May you know kindness and ease, finding kindness and ease in the midst of life's challenges. If you're using that move of support with a hand or both hands over the heart, I'd invite us to place our hands on our legs or by our side, wherever feels comfortable. And taking a few moments here to notice, what does it feel like to be kind? What does kindness feel like? Whether we're offering kindness to a loved one or a friend or a pet, or to some part of ourselves that we find challenging. Kindness has a particular flavor to it. That could feel very mild and subtle, or it could be quite pronounced. Just noticing what's there. What's the felt experience of kindness? So you might notice a kind of softening around the heart or the belly, or maybe the shoulders soften, the eyes relax a little. Does it feel like to be kind? And if you're not feeling much or anything at all, that's fine. That's very normal. And then just know that the seeds of kindness are being planted. Really taking a few moments to feel into the kindness that's there. You may even just say the word a few times. Kindness. 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 And so in a few moments' time then, we'll begin to shift away from the guided practice and back into a conversational space. And I'll cue that by ringing the bell 3 times. Hmm.
Recording stopped.
So thank you for joining me in that guided practice. And yeah. So just taking a few moments to arrive after a practice can be helpful, just to invite some movement back into the hands or the feet, or just looking around the room gently, kindly. Yeah. So, what did you notice? What was that like to offer kindness to, aspects of ourselves that we might push away, right, habitually? We might tend to want to ignore that part of ourselves intentionally, not as if we overlook it like a neutral part of ourselves, but we just don't want to deal with that. And then we become the angry person or the argumentative person or the bitter person, right? Because we don't have the window of tolerance to hold that aspect of ourself kindly, right? So until we do that, we're never going to look at it holistically. We're never going to, engage in those aspects of ourselves that we find challenging in a helpful way, because we're just going to keep pushing it down, right? And then it continues to haunt us. So yeah, you might write something down if you want to journal, or if you have any questions coming up, you can send them over to me, things like that. But just to speak to this a little bit, this endeavor of offering kindness to parts of ourselves that are challenging is really the practice of compassion, right? And for me, when I do this practice, I feel this aspect of myself sort of soften. So, when I was guiding that practice, I visualized the angry me coming up, right? And then I offer kindness to that. And the phrase, may you feel safe, right? Or may you feel safe in the midst of this challenge. Well, the angry me, that's why the angry me gets angry, is to find safety, as I mentioned earlier today in the talk. So immediately, that first phrase is like, oh, wow, thank you. Right? So the anger comes down a bit. It doesn't dissipate, and that's not the idea. Right? But the charge gets less. Right? The anger is still there, but it's like, oh, thank you. You know, I can feel the angry me say, oh, it's actually what I'm looking for, right? And then may you feel, may you be happy, the next phrase, or may you find happiness in the midst of life's unfolding, right? Well, I automatically get resistance to that, right? Because that's the opposite of anger, right? And so it feels almost like a misattunement to that phrase. And that's fine, that's okay, right? It's simply the intention of being kind is the important part there, right? So I feel the resistance come up. I say, okay, there you are. Thank you for being here. I don't really need you for that safety right now, but it's okay that you're here, right? That's okay, right? May you be happy in the midst of life's challenges, right? So, because kindness and anger don't mix well in that way, you know, when I acknowledge the resistance and continue, the anger does soften. You know, quite lovely. May you find good health, right? In the midst of life's unfolding, may you be healthy, right? Now, again, you know, here there can be some resistance comes up, you know, doubt. You know, sometimes the resistance comes up like, well, if I offer good health to this angry part of me, then they'll never die, right? And they'll get even more angry, right? But that's actually not how it happens in practice, right? We offer, you know, may you find good health. Again, it's a move of kindness, and you know that the offering of good health to this challenging part of ourself, right? The kindness feature of that softens the challenge, right? So even if you're not working with angry you, it could be whatever you, frustrated you, jealous you, same thing, right? Those challenging emotions have a similar quality in that they're very tight in the body, very contracted, very closed, almost claustrophobic. Kindness has an opposite quality in the body. It's very open, it's very receptive, it's very welcoming, right? So we're sort of meeting the somatic challenging feeling with the opposite. And because openness, softness, welcoming naturally feels better, you know, our nervous system naturally favors that, we'll naturally start to gravitate towards that effortlessly. It does take some time, right? It's not a one and done kind of practice. It's usually a couple of months of really feeling into that our nervous system will start to favor the openness, the receptivity, the welcoming. And then, you know, when we offer, you know, this challenging aspect, this contracted part of us, you know, feeling ease. Again, you know, it's the kindness that's there, right? Oh, yeah, maybe I can be at ease. Yeah, maybe I only need 5% of that anger. Okay. Right. So I'm going to draw the talk there to a close. If you're interested in this material and you want to take a deep dive into it, we're taking a 12-week long dive into this material, launching the second week of April, ending the first week of July. I'm offering in 2 different sections to cater from time zones from all over the world. So please visit the website www.suchsweetthunder to find out more about the program. And I'll be back again today. It's Friday morning where I am. I'll probably be back Monday or Tuesday, something like that. So be well, everyone. Stay safe, stay warm if you're in a cold climate. And hope to see you on the course or next time on Facebook or wherever. Be well. Have a great weekend.